Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something truly fascinating, almost an inception level dive, you could say.
Yeah. What have we got?
We're looking at an AI's own analysis of how AI search engines work.
Okay.
And it's based on research published on, well, a digital marketing site. So essentially, we're using AI to understand AI.
Right. AI on AI. That is pretty meta.
And specifically how it's just fundamentally reshaping online visibility. Okay, let's unpack this because for anyone in digital marketing, this isn't just interesting, it's vital.
It really is. Things are moving so fast.
Exactly. The world of getting seen online is shifting so rapidly, it's almost hard to keep up. So our mission for this deep dive is really specific. We're here to figure out why some digital marketing agencies, and get this, they have surprisingly low traditional domain authority, why they're absolutely crushing competitors with much higher DAs when it comes to AI search results.
While others are just nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Others who've spent years building traditional SEO, they're completely floundering. So for you listening, for your own practice or for your clients, this isn't just some weird scenario. It feels like a critical turning point.
It really does. And the analysis we've pulled from these sources, it forces us to ask a really challenging question.
Which is,
Are we just seeing a temporary glitch in how AI is processing information right now? Or is this something bigger? A fundamental, permanent paradigm shift in what actually determines online visibility.
a glitch or a whole new game?
Exactly. And I have to say, the insights discovered in these sources, they're genuinely shocking.
All right.
So for you, our listener, this basically means you're about to discover a set of entirely new rules for, let's call it, AI search optimization.
New rules. Okay.
And they're going to challenge nearly everything you've learned, everything you've applied about traditional SEO.
Yeah.
So yeah, prepare to have your assumptions about online success thoroughly shaken up.
Shaken up. But hopefully we'll also get a roadmap, right, to navigate this new territory.
That's the plan. Give you some actionable insights.
All right, let's jump right into what our sources are calling a seismic shift. And honestly, reading this, it's pretty startling.
What's the big headline?
They suggest that basically everything we've typically valued in traditional SEO, high quality content, strong backlinks, great user experience, appears to be, well, irrelevant for AI visibility.
Irrelevant. Wow, that's a strong word.
It is irrelevant. That's a huge claim. How compelling is the data behind that? Is it solid?
It's compelling enough to make you really pause and think. I mean, when they analyze local SEO queries, the data actually shows a negative 0.23 correlation between domain authority, DA, and AI citations.
Negative. Wait, so hang on. A higher DA isn't just not helping? It's slightly correlated with fewer citations.
That's what the numbers suggest, 0.23 negative.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's actively working against you in this specific AI citation landscape.
That just flies in the face of, well, years of SEO practice.
Absolutely. It's a direct challenge to a core tenet.
Right.
Think about Lure Creative from the study. They have a traditional DA of just 19.
Okay. Pretty low.
Right. Yet it significantly outperformed RankFuse, which has a DA of 29, in getting AI citations.
So 19 beat 29.
Handily in this context. So this isn't just a minor blip. It feels like a really profound aha moment.
Okay.
It signals that the old metrics, they just don't seem to apply anymore in this specific AI environment.
Okay. Wow. So if traditional SEO is, maybe not irrelevant, but certainly much less relevant for AI visibility, what are the new rules? What's actually working on this AI-powered playing field? Where should we be focusing efforts?
Great question. Let's dive into rule number 1 because, yeah, this seems to be a real game changer.
Okay, rule number 1. What is it?
Rule #1. Directory placement reigns supreme.
Directory placement, like Yelp or Clutch.
Exactly like Clutch. The sources are absolutely clear.
Yeah.
Your position on key listing sites now consistently beats just having strong domain authority on your own site.
So it's less about your own website strength and more about how you show up on these other platforms.
Precisely. It's like shifting focus from renovating your own house to making sure your storefront window on Main Street is absolutely pristine and, crucially, in the best spot on the street.
Interesting analogy. For years, we've invested in the house, right? The website.
Right. But now the AI's eye seems to be primarily on that window display, the directory listing.
Right.
And the numbers back it up. Companies landing in the top 3 positions on these directory sites get a massive 73% more AI citations than those stuck further down like in positions 4 through 10.
73% more, just from being top 3.
73%. That's a huge difference. It's not marginal,
Right.
and what really stands out is the specificity. It's not just any directory.
Ah, okay. So which ones matter most?
Clutch.co and DesignRush.com, for instance, they really dominate in the data set studied. Together, they accounted for 27 citations, which is nearly a quarter, 23.7% of all the citations they looked at.
Wow. Clutch and Design Rush.
But it gets even more nuanced. Different AI platforms seem to have their own favorite hangouts.
Like what?
Well, ChatGPT, for example, leans heavily on bbb.org and expertise.com. Those were almost exclusive sources for its citations in this analysis.
Okay, BBB and expertise for ChatGPT.
Then you have Google AI Overview, which interestingly was unique in pulling from LinkedIn.
LinkedIn! That's unexpected for agency citation.
A bit, yeah. And Perplexity AI showed a more sort of balanced diet, using a wider range across the major listing sites.
So it's not just about being on directories, but being on the right ones and ranking well there, potentially tailored to the AI you care most about.
You got it. That seems to be the key.
So for you listening, the strategic takeaway here feels like a pretty significant pivot.
Definitely.
Instead of pouring all your time and money into traditional link building for your own website to boost DA, maybe you should be prioritizing your presence and, crucially, your ranking on these specific aggregators.
Yeah, think about actively managing those profiles, investing in getting more authentic reviews there, crafting really compelling case studies for those platforms, making sure your profile shines where the AI is actually looking.
Right, optimize where the AI eyeballs are.
Exactly.
Okay, that leads us nicely into rule number 2, which introduces another really fascinating, maybe slightly concerning concept. Geographic bias market size matters to AI.
Yeah, this one is interesting. It looks like there's an algorithmic geographic bias, particularly noticeable with Google.
Bias? How so?
Well, the data showed Google AI Overview completely ignoring smaller cities for certain specific queries. For example, they saw 0 citations for queries targeting Lenexa, Kansas.
0. Just nothing.
Nothing. But it did actively respond and provide citations for queries aimed at larger nearby areas like Overland Park, Kansas, and also for state-level queries, just Kansas.
So it seems like Google's AI is making a judgment call based on the size or prominence of the location.
It certainly looks that way. It raises this crucial question about how these platforms establish confidence in geographic relevance.
Confidence. Like they trust bigger places more.
Sort of. The sources found that state-level queries like Kansas generated twice as many citations as the city-specific queries on average. It was 46 citations versus about 22.7 average for cities.
Double the citations just by going broader geographically.
Yeah. And this strongly suggests that AI platforms, especially Google's, might have these built-in confidence thresholds. They're based on geographic market size, or maybe the volume of data associated with that place.
So if a market is perceived as too small,
Mhm.
or maybe just doesn't have enough aggregated data floating around,
The AI might just choose not to engage or not cite sources from there. It's like an implicit trust score for different locations.
okay, so the practical application for listeners is pretty clear then. When you're optimizing for AI visibility, particularly thinking about those directory listings, you need to broaden your focus.
Mhm.
Instead of just hyper-local keywords like Lenexa in your directory profiles,
Right. You should maybe strategically aim for broader geographic terms like Kansas, or maybe the larger metro area like Overland Park in this example.
exactly. Align your listed presence with the market size biases that these algorithms seem to have. Don't restrict yourself to what the AI might consider a digital ghost town if it's not actively building there, so to speak.
Makes sense. Don't optimize for a place the AI ignores.
Pretty much.
Okay, on to rule number 3. This one introduces a concept that kind of reframes how you should think about your brand online. It's called the citation network effect. Be a brand. Be a source.
Ah, this is a clever one. It uncovers what the source material calls the brand versus citation source confusion.
Explain that. Brand versus source.
Well, they highlight this dual role phenomenon. They used KCWebSpecialist.com as a prime example.
Okay.
This company shows up in AI results in 2 ways. First, as a brand being cited for its services, which you'd expect.
But also, it creates content, like blog posts or articles, that cites other companies. So it effectively acts as a citation source itself within the ecosystem.
Oh, interesting. So they're not just getting mentioned, they're doing the mentioning too.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it creates this really powerful citation network effect.
A network effect.
Yeah. The truly intriguing part here is that the most successful companies according to this analysis, aren't just sitting back passively, hoping to get citations from directories.
They're proactive.
Very proactive. They're actively participating in the whole citation ecosystem by ethically creating valuable content. Think legitimate industry roundups, or maybe best-of lists for their niche that genuinely reference other local businesses.
They're increasing their own footprint.
Significantly. They increase their footprint in the data that these large language models, the LLMs, are consuming. They're not just being found, they're helping to shape the information landscape. They become a trusted node in that network.
That really challenges you, our listener, to think differently about your content strategy, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
How can you become an active participant? Maybe it is through those legitimate roundups, or creating useful best-of lists for your specific niche, or even collaborating on content that naturally references other relevant businesses in a meaningful way.
It's about being part of the conversation, not just waiting to be the subject of it. Building relationships, digitally speaking.
Right. Be a source, not just a subject.
Precisely. Now, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Because it's truly counterintuitive and, frankly, still a bit mind-boggling. That domain authority paradox.
Yeah, the negative correlation thing.
Exactly. We've seen it repeatedly in the data presented.
Yeah.
Higher traditional domain authority actually shows a negative correlation with AI citations. 0.23 negative.
It just makes it undeniably clear, doesn't it? LLMs are not prioritizing, maybe not even using the traditional SEO signals we've relied on for so long.
It almost feels like they're actively looking away from them, or at least they aren't the primary driver.
Okay, and this brings us to what we've dubbed the 64% mystery.
It's the mystery.
Yeah. So if traditional SEO metrics like DA are out, or at least way less important, and directories, while clearly powerful, only account for about 36% of all the AI citations observed.
Right. There's a gap.
There's a big gap. How are the company websites themselves, which make up the remaining 64% of citations, how are they getting listed?
Good question. Because they aren't necessarily optimizing for best or top.
Exactly.
Right.
What's really intriguing is that these company websites that are getting cited directly, they often aren't using terms like best or top prominently in their own website titles or main content. So if the AI isn't looking hard at DA and it's not finding those specific keywords directly on the sites themselves, what is driving those 64% of citations?
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. This is the aha moment that solves the mystery.
Lay it on us.
That's 64% of company website citations. It's actually a matter of correlation, not causation, driven by the directories.
Correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
Unpack that.
It means the AI isn't directly reading company X's website and deciding, yep, this is the best. Instead, it's like a researcher reading trusted industry reports about company X.
Ah, so the directories are the reports.
Exactly. The LLMs are being trained heavily on that aggregated directory content. And that content, the directory listings, the reviews, the summaries on Clutch or DesignRush, mentions these companies, often using those very superlatives like best or top.
So the best or top comes from the directory's description or reviews about the company, not the company's own site.
Precisely. So your website getting cited is often a downstream effect. Your success comes from optimizing your presence within those directories, which then generates the positive mentions and context that the AI consumes.
That is a subtle but absolutely profound shift. Wow.
Isn't it? It totally reframes where the optimization effort needs to go for AI visibility.
Yeah, it emphasizes that crucial point. AI platforms seem to be fundamentally rewarding listing optimization, getting your profile right on those aggregators way more than your individual website's domain strength or traditional on-page SEO for these kinds of terms.
It's a completely different game plan. The path to being seen by AI, at least right now, seems to run directly through those trusted, curated aggregators.
Okay, so bringing this all together then, let's try and synthesize the winning strategy for AI visibility based on everything we've just discussed.
Sound good.
What we've learned is that success seems to hinge on, 1, excelling in that directory position and getting into the top spots.
Right.
2, strategically using broader geographic keywords, but specifically within those directory listings.
Crucial distinction, yes.
3, establishing a multi-platform presence. Don't just be on one AI platform if you can help it.
Yeah, spread the visibility.
And 4, actively becoming a citation source yourself, like we talked about, creating content that ethically references others.
That seems to be the core playbook emerging from this analysis. And Vision Interactive actually serves as a prime example of this winning strategy in action. based on the data.
Vision. What did they do right?
They were the only company observed in this particular study that had visibility across all three of the major AI platforms they looked at: ChatGPT, Google AI Overview, and Perplexity.
The only one across all three. That's impressive.
It is. And this multi-platform presence isn't just, nice to have. It directly correlated with 2.5 times higher citation rates compared to companies only visible on one or two platforms.
2.5 times more citations just by being visible across the board.
Yeah, it shows that breadth and depth in the right places, those directories and platforms, really pays off. They seem to have cracked the code, at least for now, on diverse AI visibility.
And just to really hammer home the challenges and how different this is, let's look at rank views again, using the data from the sources.
Okay, the counterexample.
Sort of. They ranked 13th overall out of 64 brands, which isn't terrible, but they had only 2.4% overall visibility in terms of AI citation.
Only 2.4%.
Yeah, and critically, RankViews was 100% dependent on Perplexity AI for its two mentions. They had absolutely zero visibility on ChatGPT and Google AI Overview in this study.
Wow. Completely invisible on two major platforms.
And part of this, the analysis suggests, was likely due to its location in that disadvantaged Lenexa, Kansas market, which Google's algorithm in particular seemed to disfavor.
Right, the geographic bias potentially hitting them hard.
It's just such a stark illustration of how these new rules play out. It shows that even if you've done everything right in traditional SEO, built up a decent DA, you might still be practically invisible to large parts of the AI search landscape.
It truly reinforces that what we're witnessing feels like an undeniable paradigm shift. Your traditional domain authority advantage, the one you might have worked years to build, it's now looking largely irrelevant, maybe even slightly negatively correlated for these AI citations. The companies winning in this new environment, they're playing a completely different game.
A game based on directory aggregation.
Strategic listing optimization.
And building those citation networks.
Exactly. Not primarily based on the traditional SEO signals we've all been accustomed to. It requires a massive reevaluation of what truly drives online presence today.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive. This really does bring it all together. It shows us how the entire landscape of online visibility, especially for digital marketing agencies, but really any business relying on search, is being fundamentally reshaped by these large language models.
The ground is definitely shifting beneath our feet.
It really is. The rules are changing and changing quickly. So what does this all mean for the future? Where do we go from here?
Well, I think as AI continues its rapid evolution and becomes even more deeply integrated into how we all discover and consume information, one immediate implication is that even these new rules we've talked about today, they might shift again.
So this isn't necessarily the final answer.
Probably not. We have to wonder, what other unexpected signals might LLMs begin to prioritize next in their endless quest for relevant, trustworthy information? Signals that go beyond anything we've even considered in traditional search or even in this current directory-focused phase.
Like what could be next?
That's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? Maybe real-world prominence signals, deeper sentiment analysis. It's hard to say for sure, but the key takeaway is that this is just the beginning of understanding this new frontier.
So constant learning and adaptation are key.
Absolutely. Adaptability to these evolving rules, being willing to question old assumptions and test new strategies based on what the AI seems to be rewarding now. That's what will likely define success moving forward. It's a whole new ballgame.